why BMC capacity optimization is a good solution for capacity management, what we do differently, and what do our customers, what are they getting out of capacity management. You all have challenges, and you're here because you have challenges that you think can be solved by capacity management. Now, on this slide, while capacity management, the goal of capacity management hasn't changed, it's, a decades-old, multiple decades-old process. It is an ITIL process. If you adhere to ITIL best practices, you're very familiar, at least somewhat, with capacity management as an ITIL process. And it can be boiled down into aligning your resources, your IT resources, with demand. And as simply as that. But doing it cost effectively. So you're best utilizing what you already have deployed, and you're also effectively forecasting your future needs based upon, what your business requirements are. And so while, in theory, it looks as simple as aligning two lines, in general, the state of most data centers and most companies, small, medium, and large, is that they're either, woefully over-provisioned, where their supply of IT resources greatly outweighs their demand, or they're underutilized. They're under capacity, where they have a demand that's greater than the supply. Now, what we found over the last 13 years, actually, while I've been at BMC and talking to capacity customers, the folks that are new to capacity management, they come from a position of they don't know what they don't know. And that's a real bad position to be in, because you don't know what's coming. And what I found is the folks that have not yet, implemented capacity management may be completely, over capacity in certain areas, maybe some non-mission critical areas, but will have, critical servers where they're under capacity. So they're spending a lot of money on capital expenditures on servers in one area of their business. But in another critical area of their business, they will not have enough, horsepower, enough IT capacity to meet demand, and they're missing their service levels, and so they're getting, double dinged in the sense that they're spending too much on capital expenditures and too much on operating expenditures. And so capacity management as a discipline, as I said, hasn't really changed the goal, but the reasons have evolved, and there's really interesting and new reasons why now. What's changed? The goal of capacity management hasn't changed. A lot of companies have been over-provisioned for years, and it's not been a problem. So why now? I would say out of this, this laundry list that you see here, the top sub-bullet, technology, and the bottom, one of the bottom bullets, cost. Those are like the main two. There's other, technology and business risks involved, but technology I've seen is the main driver to capacity management. I remember going back to 2004 at the first VMworld in San Diego, and at that point, folks said, I'm looking at VMware, and I don't think I'm going to have to do capacity management, because isn't VMware going to move my workloads where I need it? It'll move VMs, it'll move capacity. Well, very quickly, people then started to realize I have a very dynamic, complex environment, and I can't keep up. I don't know exactly how much capacity I have, what's being used. VMs can be created and destroyed very, very quickly, a lot faster than physical systems. And so as my infrastructure has become more complex, I've lost that view of capacity, how much I need, let alone how much do I have, let alone how much do I need. Now, with cloud computing, there's another technology enhancement that has brought about even more need for capacity management. People, process, and partners, again, we see customers that have less people in the IT operations space that are able to do capacity management activities, but yet the same capacity questions need to be asked and need to be worked on. How much horsepower, IT resources do I have? How much do I need? And how can I match up and make sure that I'm aligning supply with demand? You have multiple processes and partners as well. Maybe you're outsourcing, some of your IT to a public cloud. And in that case, you're wanting to ensure that they're going to give you the capacity you need, or maybe you're a provider and you need to ensure that your customers have capacity. So that's from a IT complexity perspective. Business risk has only increased. I don't have to talk and spend any time at all really talking to you about the global economic situation we're in. As customers need to tighten their belts, they look at costs across the board, and they want to better utilize what they already have deployed. From a competition and revenue perspective, I see a lot more brick and mortar organizations looking to IT for competitive advantage. So they're selling a lot more online, even though they have physical stores. So they're leveraging IT as a competitive advantage, but yet if they don't have the capacity they need, folks won't have the response time, they won't have service levels they require, and customers will go elsewhere. So there's a lot of changes. Why now? So there's really been a resurgence in the interest in capacity management over the last 3-4 years. Some of the current challenges and goals. When I present this slide in front of an audience, I see people, as I walk through these, I see people's heads shaking up and down. Every one of you probably can look at one of these challenges or goals and say, yeah, I've got that. I find optimizing IT resources. That is something that everybody wants to do. Given the state of data centers where they're over-provisioned or under-provisioned or don't know what they don't know, everyone wants to, number one, optimize what they have. What's on the data center floor. Aligning IT capacity to business demand, that is an aspirational goal. When people adopt capacity management, they do so because they want to optimize their resources, and then looking forward, they want to align their resources with their business drivers. If they're a retailer, that's selling online, they are, looking to have, how many orders per minute or orders per day, and they need to align their capacity to meet that particular business volume. And so enabling them to put capacity management in business terms makes for, better management, gives them better visibility. They can communicate to the business in business terms instead of IT terms. And so we see a lot more folks that are interested in capacity management. A lot of stakeholders also are interested in capacity management from a reporting perspective. We'll get into that in a couple minutes. Managing risk. A lot of people look at managed risk and they think about outages and SLAs and they say, geez, isn't that performance management? Well, capacity and performance are, they're siblings. They go hand in glove. Whereas, performance management is looking at, real time, are my systems and services available? And then, am I meeting my SLAs? Capacity is giving you that broader historical window where if you have adequate capacity or that foundation of capacity that you need to align supply with demand, you'll by definition have fewer performance problems. That means fewer outages, fewer slowdowns, fewer tickets going to your ITSM, your help desk. And all the way around, you'll have, happier customers and a better running, efficient IT organization. And then lastly, you see a lot of different initiatives. We have a lot of customers that are focused on ITIL. As I mentioned, capacity is an ITIL process, and customers will have, change management and a service desk and performance management and a lot of other ITIL financial management, and yet they'll come to where they need, to understand capacity because of the the business drivers, either want to reduce costs or they're looking to, provide better business-aware service. A lot of different areas, and then consolidation, virtualization, cloud computing. You can't do that without capacity management, or should I say, can't do it effectively and efficiently without capacity management. Not every application can and should be virtualized or put into a cloud environment. And it's through the process of capacity management, through that modeling and forecasting, you can identify what can be migrated, what can be consolidated, and so forth. There's been definitely a paradigm shift in capacity management, and this is where our solution, capacity optimization, has evolved over the last 5 years. The traditional approach, and many customers still have a traditional approach where they'll have an organization within their IT operations group that just does capacity management. That is their goal. We have a lot of customers that are very technical, that whose whole job they live, breathe, and sleep capacity management. And the BCO solution we've developed into a solution that is made for those hardcore capacity planners, but also for other users that are brand new to capacity management, that want more guidance, that want more automation, because we have seen a shift in paradigm from that traditional approach where I'm doing it occasionally, or I have an IT guru doing it, to where I want to do it continuously. I have a mix of, physical and virtual environment. I want to provide just-in-time capacity, to my customers, just what they need, so I can, optimize my costs and optimize my infrastructure. And I want a holistic view, where traditionally folks have looked at just servers, for example. So customers now are saying compute resources are important, but what about storage? What about network? I want to bring in, business metrics as well. I want to bring in financial metrics. So it's shifted from that vertical focus to more holistic focus, so they can get an entire view of their data center and see from a data center perspective how much capacity they have, how much are they using, and how much then can they need. Automation, no matter what solution you acquire for capacity management, automation needs to be part of it. As technology becomes more complex, as environments become larger, as there's fewer and fewer people that are allocated to work on capacity projects, you need automation. And not a lot of folks think of automation just in the realm of reporting, or I can automatically create a report and send it to somebody. That's part of it, but that's the tip of the iceberg, I would say. There's also automated analysis, automated planning, that helps the capacity planner understand, what's abnormal, what's coming, when will I run into a saturation, when will I saturate, let's say, a particular business service. Automatically tell me that. A lot of customers will have a infrastructure that's, hundreds of thousands of servers. They have to have automation across the board, their reporting, their analysis, and planning to best, be productive. A Gartner analyst that covers capacity management, Milind Gobekar, he said to me a couple months ago, we were in a consult with him, and he said, people can't keep up. I might have mentioned that a little bit earlier. People can't keep up. The infrastructures are too big. They're going too fast. You add in cloud computing, virtualization, physical. If you have a mainframe as well, it's too complicated. People can't keep up. They need a solution that helps them, automate processes and create great workflows. And lastly, IT in general, target business plus IT managers. This is simply saying, who's doing it now? Not just capacity planners. Capacity management is needed by, everyone, but yet we have performance analysts, people that are maybe in charge of, monitoring of their infrastructure, are now taking on and asking those capacity questions, and they need a tool that is, easy enough to use, provides guidance, but yet gives them, flexibility and the power to ask those capacity and forecasting questions.